Welcome to a Power of Two, Power of Many, a place where we go beyond small talk. Today's episode, it's all about giving and receiving. And my guest joining us from Brasov, Romania, is Stanca. This is how she wanted to be introduced. I will let her tell you why. But first, welcome Stanca.
Hello, Valentina. Hello, everyone. My first name is Stanca, and indeed, this introduction comes with a story. In December 2008, along with other two colleagues from my university, I took part in a huge conference in Hong Kong on professional communication. Among the speakers there was this scholar that we've heard about, professor of linguistics, and we admired her writing and we knew her only from her books, and we really wanted to meet her, and her name was Janet Holmes.
Uh-huh.
Janet Holmes was then emeritus professor in linguistics at Victoria University of Wellington in New Zealand. Meeting her was like the highlight of the conference, and we were looking forward to be introduced to her. So we, the Romanian team of researchers, approached her with the intention to invite her as a guest speaker to our conference in Brasov in 2010. And of course, we used the common European courtesy among scholars. Esteemed Professor Holmes, it's an honor to meet you, and so on and so forth. She interrupted us and she said that Janice was just fine. Her students call her Janet. She considered us her colleagues, and Janice was more than enough. And this simple way of introducing herself and her very easygoing manner of communicating with us, although she has met us for the first time then, was a really good model for me. So I learned that it's not important the title. Great people are very humble, and it's just who you are. That's why Stanca is fine for me.
That's lovely. Still, I want everyone to know a bit more about you. Your full name is Stanca Măda. Stanca Măda, right? Okay. You teach professional communication, Romanian as a foreign language, research methods in linguistics, humor and media studies, and social linguistics. God, a lot. Congratulations. Okay. So all this at Transilvania University of Brasov. Let's see first, why teaching?
In my early childhood, I had a chance to spend a lot of time with my grandma. She was one of my best teachers and also the fiercest critic. She had a paralysis from her belly down, and she only stayed in bed. And as a small child, I spent a lot of time with her to keep her company. And she invented all sorts of things and of games to teach me. She had all sorts of things behind her, like a small shop. And I had to come to the shop and buy from her. And she was the seller, the person in charge. And I had to decide with the money I have what I can buy from her. And then I had to bargain for everything. So a lot of communication, mathematics also involved. A lot of skills were developed in that period. So I remember her as being one of my first teachers. And although she was not a teacher by profession, she had this skill of listening and giving feedback and helping me grow. My father taught me everything that I know in terms of sports and the social skills, working with people. Everything that I've learned from him came with this very secure environment and this love that I always felt as being absolutely necessary when you teach someone something or when you receive this kind of teachings. And this closeness and the relationship that you build with the person who teaches you, be that your parent or anyone else, is really important.
I remember about the story you told me about him picking you up from school or kindergarten. Would you like to share
Yes.
that with us here?
Yeah, so the first 8 years of my life, he did not stay with my family. Those were the times in the communist era. And we saw each other very little. And one of the moments that I cherish most was when he was taking me from school or from kindergarten, because he put me on the bike and told me exactly how I should keep my feet so that I don't get hurt by the movement of the wheel in front. And also, he surrounded me with his arms, and that feeling of being close to him, protected, and at the same time going home, it was just sheer pleasure. And I cherish it as a very dear memory of him.
It sounds like that.
So,
Yeah.
teaching came from a very good example that I had. So, I had three very good teachers that were through my life. The first one was my teacher from the primary school. He was a man, and he had a single sheet of paper in his hand, and he kept the entire lesson. He knew everything. And music, you cannot imagine what kind of drawings he had. He used to paint icons he was stolen, like the dream of every single child that goes to primary school. So that was the first figure. The second one was my teacher of Romanian language and literature in the whole gymnasium. His name was Paul Grigore. He was one of the greatest minds I've ever met. He spoke like French, German, and also ancient Greek, Latin. He used to tell us verses in Aramaic, so a true scholar of philology in the true meaning of the word. He was also a poet, and he died quite young because he was killed by the security at 39 because of his political view and everything that he used to share with our young minds. So he was considered a bad influence on us. So it was quite a tragic moment, his death that occurred when we were in the seventh grade. But those 3 years with him were very powerful because he gave us the courage to speak our minds, stand behind our opinions with good arguments. And the third model that I had was in high school. All the cycles had their model. My Romanian teacher was a very kind lady. She's still alive. Her name is Ileana Hajdeu. She's now quite old. We never had the textbook. She just came with the volume of poetry or of whatever we had for that day. And she told us, just open the book, what you can see there. Read me the title. What does the title promise? Is it fun and interesting? Or can you guess what's going next? And everything that she did was with that sense of finesse, not just the power or the knowledge, but also this kindness was something that I got from her. So teaching, because all of those people, and because I truly feel that this is my meaning in life. No matter what I teach, not only what I do at university, but everything that I do comes with this conviction that I can do it.
One memory I have with you, and I really want to talk about this. We were in a bookshop and I was looking at the book. I don't remember exactly the title, but I remember that you said, "Do you really want that book?" And I said, "Yes," but I didn't have money for it. And you said, "And who cares you don't have money? You'll have the book." So for me, it was quite a life lesson about want something, and definitely is going to be someone around you to show you the way. And now I understand much better where it's coming from. So thank you very much. You'll always stay with me, not only with that, but yeah.
Thank you for this memory. I completely forgot about this.
I'm
so
sure.
I must
For
confess.
you, for it was just one of those spontaneous things. Really, don't waste your time. Do something, That's
yeah, there There are so many things that really change me every day. And I think that we are on a road together with all the people that surround us. And we give and take and we receive from them. And we also give sometimes probably unconsciously, but most of the time with the real feeling of gratitude for everything that we are because of those people. Because you are not just like that because you are. You are because you've met the people, you had the opportunities, you had the chances to just grow into that.
What else do you do?
Apart from teaching in the academic, I've met the Franz Kett pedagogy. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's a German pedagogue that inspired this pedagogy. He started somewhere in the 1970s in Germany. He worked with very young kids and he looked for a method to teach them not only content, but also how to relate to the object that you're studying in a very particular manner. In 2017, I started to actually study it and learn how to work with this pedagogy. And it's something that teaches you to learn everything with a sensitive heart for the relationship that you build, to know better not only yourself and the object that you're studying, but also the environment. I think that you can learn more about this from our mutual friend and colleague. Remember her, Monica. Now she's Comoescu Monica. She's the vice president of the Romanian Institute for Franz Kett Pedagogy in Romania. And perhaps she's the most qualified person to give you all the answers regarding this pedagogy. I think in Romania, she did great steps to make it known to a lot of teachers and people from this field. And it's an ongoing process that's worth developing.
Can you tell me how is your actual teaching influenced by this new approach?
Yes, like a second specialization that I managed to bring into my life and also in the current teaching. It changed the way I teach at university level. The most important thing is building this connection with the group before teaching. So you have to make sure that you meet with everyone else. You create that group. Even if you do it only with your eyes and you follow a gesture that goes around the circle and allows people to actually come together, not as one, not as two, but as a group. And when you realize that is the first stage of any Franz Kett activity, once you do this, you are able to actually come with the new knowledge, with the object that you are contemplating or learning about.
Is there any connection with the little man that you show me?
Yes, kind of.
Can you show it?
That's the guy.
Okay, tell me about this. You promised. Yes, I'm really curious.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard of Ralph Knoblauch.
Not
No?
really.
Okay. So if our listeners have the curiosity to search for him, so now Ralph Knoblauch is a sculptor that does this, I would call it naive sculpture. You
Mm-hmm.
can see the features and everything. And this is a king, apparently, but he comes with a story. I brought this king in front of my students today, to my classes of Romanian as a foreign language. They come from all cultures. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have the same cultural background as we have. So it was very interesting to notice how they relate to this character. And I asked them, what can you see? And they first told me this is a prince. And I said, okay, why is it a prince? Because it has a crown. Okay. Isn't he a king? No, it's a prince. Why? Because he's a boy. Okay. Would it be a prince if I cover this? No, it would be a simple boy. What makes him a prince? The crown? What stands the crown for? And all started with power, money, all things. And I said, okay, but if we take this, isn't he the same? And they smiled, looked at me, and didn't know exactly what to say. And I told them about Tao's philosophy regarding this king. This is very special because he, or the concept, represents the human dignity. Every single human being wears this crown in a way or the other. And if you have this human dignity, you are a king. And no matter what their culture, their background was, they felt instantly empowered by this image. Each of them can be a king because we all were endowed with human dignity when we came into this world. Women and children that wear the same crown, not only on their heads, but they can hold it in their hands or they can sit and hold it in their laps. But human dignity is always with us.
Thank you very much, Stanca, for being so open to be with us today. I would just like to ask you, next episode we'll have together, what would you like to bring to us?
I think that we've covered the academic part, so it's time to move on. And perhaps how we anchor our body in the environment and how we change and educate it in this respect. So I think it would be a good topic.
I honestly like it. We have this body is the vehicle that transports us
Through
everywhere.
life.
Through life, yeah, through space, through time, yeah. This changing vehicle, it's an amazing complexity. So thank you very much for being here with us, and I am really looking forward to have you back.
Thank you also for the invitation and the opportunity to share what I do, my experience with you.
Let's wrap up on this episode, Giving from Receiving. Stay tuned because we are always coming back with new people, new stories. Stay connected, leave a comment, start a conversation, and never stop being curious.
Bye.